Morning, students. Today's class, I'm going to discuss the next topic in the Unit 4, Quantum Physics. Today's topic is the wave function and Schrodinger wave equations. The earlier classes, we have discussed the important points regarding matter waves, the dual nature of light, and governing equation by de Broglie, and that equation is called de Broglie wavelength equation. We know the de Broglie wavelength equation relates the wave nature of a particle by means of wavelength and its mass. In continuation to that, today we are going to introduce ourselves to the concept of wave function and mathematical formulation of such a wave in terms of wave equations. In this view, we are going to see a fundamental quantum mechanical formulation called Schrodinger wave equation, which will be very much useful for the development of quantum mechanic concepts. Let us see the topic more elaborately. First of all, what is wave function? What is function? A function is a variable quantity with respect to some parameters in general in mathematics. In this way, a wave function is a variable quantity which characterizes the de Broglie wave, and it is known as wave function. In general, it will be termed, or it will be named by or it will be represented by the symbol psi. It will be represented by the symbol psi. So in quantum mechanics, wherever you are having this notation psi, this represents the wave function. And this is nothing but a mathematical function which represents both particles' wave-like behavior and its uncertainty in location. And this is the function of the position and time. So the wave function is the function of the position and time. So this is the one-dimensional representation of the wave function. If you want to represent that in 2-3 dimension, I can write x comma y comma z comma t. This is in Cartesian coordinate system. So a wave function is nothing but a mathematical function which represents particles' wave-like characters and its uncertainty in the position. Now let us discuss the physical significance of wave function. What is meant by physical significance? The physical significance is nothing but physical importance and important points. A wave function is a complex quantity. Generally, the wave function is a complex quantity. It cannot be measured. It cannot be measured. And this relates the particle and wave nature of a matter statistically. The wave function psi gives the probability of finding the particle at a given place at a particular instant of time. And this probability is a real and positive quantity we can measure. Like an example, if I take a light, the two important parameters we are telling for light is the intensity and amplitude. If I say the light is behaving like a wave, this is the one wave, and this height is nothing but amplitude. But we can tell that theoretically this cannot be measured physically. But the quantity called intensity is nothing but a square. This intensity can be measured physically. So likewise, the wave function is like this amplitude. It is a complex quantity. It cannot be measured, but the probability which is obtained from this complex quantity of, that is probability of finding the particle, is a real and measurable quantity. It's a positive quantity. Hence, this is the very important point of this wave function. So wave function is a complex quantity. We cannot measure it, and it relates the wave nature and particle nature of a matter statistically, and it is useful for providing you the probability for finding the particle. And if you are finding the particle 100% in a given region, means the total probability becomes 1. If you are not able to pass, not able to see the particle inside the particle, means the probability becomes 0. If you have 50% of chance to have the particle inside the region, then probability value becomes 0.5. So the probability value may be vary between 0 to 1. It may be vary to 0 to 1. So this is the physical significance of wave function. This is the points you have to remember in the case of wave function. Next, let us discuss about Schrodinger wave equation. So what is the Schrodinger wave equation? The Schrodinger wave equation, it is the equation describes the wave-like behavior of the particle in mathematical form, and it is a second order differential equation which can capable of describing the motion of electrons even in the atom. We know that in the case of atom, at the center we have nucleus. Around the nucleus we are having some imaginary path where these electrons are revolving. When these electrons are revolving, it will have a wave-like motion, and the length of this wave will be decided based on the orbital it is revolving. Okay, so this behavior of electrons in the orbital can be better described by mathematically by using the Schrodinger wave equation. And we all know that for the macroscopical system, for the bigger system, we are adopting Newton's law of motion as per the classical physics. But when we go to the micro subatomic particle system, this Newton's law of motion will not valid holds good. Then we are formulating this new form of wave equation by incorporating the concept of de Broglie, and this wave function is applicable both for macroscopical system as well as microscopical systems and its relevant events. So this is the small introduction about Schrodinger wave equation. So Schrodinger wave equation is nothing but a fundamental mathematical wave equation which describe or which will explains the wave-like behavior of the particle, Depending on the form, we have two forms of Schrodinger wave equations. One is time-independent Schrodinger wave equation. Another one is Schrodinger time-dependent wave equations. What is time-independent equation? I'm going to form a mathematical formula or mathematical equation where I will not have any component of time in that equation. I will not have any component of time in that equation, means that will be called Schrodinger time independent wave equation. At the meantime, if I able to form an equation with the involvement of time in that, then that equation is called Schrodinger time dependent equation. So we can analyze the time dependent variations of the particular wave or matter wave by using this equation. So these are all the two different equations which can be formulated by using the concepts of classical physics and de Broglie concepts, and combined together we will form a equation. That equation is called Schrodinger wave equation, and this wave equation is most fundamental or foundation for quantum physics, and this equation is very much useful for determining the energy levels in atoms and molecules of an electron, and it is used to find the location or state of an electron in the material. And this equation is very much useful in understanding the principles and operations of many semiconductor devices. Now let us start the derivation. Let us start from the point at a scratch from the classical differential equation. If I consider a particle which is moving along an axis with a velocity v, small v, and let me say mass of this particle is m. If I consider this only as a wave and it is having the wave function psi, and the wave displacement for this de Broglie wave at any instant of time can be given by this equation: dou squared psi by dou x square plus dou squared psi by dou y square plus dou squared psi by dou z square is equal to 1 by v square dou squared psi by dou t square. Here small v is equal to velocity of that moving object, psi is the wave function, and t is the time. And this is the equation which is taken from classical equation for motion. If I solve this differential equation, I can able to get the solution of the above equation as psi of x, y, z, t. This is the three-dimensional representation. And psi of x, y, z, t equal to psi naught x comma y comma z e power minus I omega t. Here omega is nothing but angular frequency. It is nothing but angular frequency. This angular frequency can be calculated from the linear frequency by 2 pi nu formula. Here nu is called linear frequency. Otherness are linear frequency. The angular frequency involves the angle. Linear frequency is measured in a straight line motion. Okay. These two equations, equation number this one and this one, can be represented in simplified form like this. If you take the first equation, here we have some operator dou squared by dou x square plus dou squared by dou y square plus dou squared by dou z square. It is nothing but del squared, which is called as Laplacian operator. We can represent like this also. And similar way, the second equation, which shows all three coordinate axes, so we can also simplify that too. So the equation of motion can be written as del squared psi equal to 1 by v square dou squared psi by dou t square, and its solution also can be written as psi equal to psi naught of some, you can take one dimension, two dimension, whatever it is, minus I omega t. If I want to use this for one dimension, I can write psi of x equal to psi naught of x or psi naught e power minus I omega t. If I want to write it for two dimension, I can write psi of x comma y comma t, that is equal to psi naught e power minus I omega t. So this is the general representation of the solution for that second order differential equation from the classical mechanics or classical physics. So from these fundamental equations, I'm going to incorporate de Broglie wavelength equation H by mv, and I'm going to form a new equation. That new equation is called Schrodinger wave equation. So because this equation having the parameters for a wave, but it is not having any representation of parameter for particle. So I'm going to form a new formulation by using this classical wave equation and the de Broglie wavelength concept together. I will form a resultant equation. Let us see that next. Here psi naught is nothing but the amplitude of that wave at any point of consideration. Now let us start with the time independent wave equation. So we just taken classical wave equation del square psi equal to 1 by v square dou square psi by dou t square. The psi is nothing but the wave function. We start from the solution of the wave function psi equal to psi naught e power minus I omega t. Is it clear? Now differentiate above equation with respect to t, that is with respect to time. I will get dou psi by dou t is equal to psi naught, it's a constant value. If I differentiate d by dt of e power at, this is equal to a e power at. It is a general differential equation, a differentiation formula. According to that, if you differentiate this, this becomes minus I omega e power minus I omega t. Is it clear? Now differentiate this equation again. Differentiate above equation once again with respect to t. So this equation, when we differentiate second time, it becomes dou squared psi by dou t squared equal to psi naught is a constant, minus I omega is also a non-variable. Again I'm differentiating e power minus I omega t, then again I have I omega e power minus I omega t. Is it clear? Now if I multiply this minus into minus, it becomes plus. I into I is equal to I squared. The I squared is equal to minus 1. So this equation I can write psi naught minus omega square e power minus I omega t. So this equation I can write minus omega square psi naught e power minus I omega t. In this equation, this parameter psi naught e power minus I omega t is nothing but psi. So I can write dou squared psi by dou t squared equal to minus omega squared psi. Is it clear? So this parameter is equal to psi. Then my equation becomes like this. Say this is equation number 3. Say this is equation number 1. This is equation number 2. I'm getting equation number 3. Now substitute. Now substitute equation number 3 in 1. What is the result? We will get del squared psi equal to 1 by small v squared. Here v is the velocity, small v is the velocity. Okay, let us test. I will use another v. So let me mark this as a small v, 1 by small v squared into, instead of dou squared psi by dou t squared, I will substitute minus omega squared psi. Then this is becomes minus omega squared psi. So I can write del squared psi. This will come this side. So this I can write this like omega squared minus omega squared v squared psi. Okay, this will come to the left side. This is becomes del squared psi plus omega squared by v squared psi equal to 0. See, this is equation number 4. Is everyone got clear up to this step? Please go through the steps one by one. I started with classical wave equation. It is given in equation number 1. Then I have taken the solution of equation 1 by solving that in second order differential equation method. Then I have found the equation 2. At the next step, I am differentiating the equation 2 with respect to t, and I am simplifying that equation. Again, I am equating the obtained equation one more time by t. I am getting equation number 3. I have substituted equation 3 in equation 1, and finally I got the equation 4. I hope up to this step you are all clear. Now let us go to the next step. I am writing the equation 4 in the next slide like this. Del squared psi plus omega squared by v squared psi equal to 0. Is it clear? By your definition or assumption, omega equal to 2 pi nu, and nu equal to velocity by wavelength. Nu equal to velocity by wavelength. So I will substitute the value of omega, that is omega equal to 2 pi velocity by wavelength. Velocity by wavelength. This will give omega squared equal to 4 pi squared v squared. This is a small v squared by lambda squared. Let me substitute this value in the equation 4. In the equation 4, this becomes del squared psi plus 4 pi squared v squared by lambda square, and I have one more v square there. Then psi equal to 0. This and this is cancelled. This and this is cancelled. Then what is remaining? I have del square psi plus 4 pi squared by lambda square psi equal to 0. Is it clear, my dear students? Now, let us take the de Broglie wavelength equation. Now, let me take the de Broglie wavelength equation, lambda equal to h by mv. Here, m is the mass of the particle, v is the velocity of the particle, h is the Planck's constant, and lambda is the wavelength of matter wave. I'm going to substitute this equation in this equation 5. If I substitute that, it becomes, if I substitute this de Broglie wavelength, de Broglie wavelength in this equation 5, I will get del squared psi plus 4 pi square by, instead of lambda, I can substitute h by mv. So here we are having lambda squared, then this becomes h squared by m square, and we have psi here, then we have equation this one. If I simplify this equation, I'll get del squared psi plus 4 pi squared by h square m square v square psi equal to 0. M square v square psi equal to 0. Is it clear? Is it clear? Say this is equation number 6. We know that total energy of any system, say E, it consists of two energies. One is kinetic energy, another one is potential energy. If a particle is having mass m moving with the velocity v, then the kinetic energy is equal to of mv squared, of mv squared, and potential energy, let me mark that as capital V. Then I can write E equal to of mv squared plus capital V. So from this expression, I can write E minus V equal to of mv square. This I can rearrange like 2 into E minus V equal to mv square. Let me multiply both sides by m. What is this equation becomes? This becomes 2m E minus V is equal to m square v square. Say this is equation number 7. Now substitute this equation number 7 in equation number 6 in the place of m squared v squared. Then I can able to get substitute equation 7 in 6. I will get del squared psi plus 4 pi squared by h squared. Instead of m squared v squared, I'm going to substitute 2m e minus capital V. E minus capital V. We have 2m capital E minus capital V into psi equal to 0. Here, I would like to introduce a new term called H cross. let me say this h cross is equal to h by 2 pi. H by 2 pi. If I say it is h cross square, it is equal to h squared by 4 pi square. Here I'm having 4 pi squared by h squared. Then I can write this as 1 by h cross square. So this equation becomes, by consideration of h cross is equal to h by 2 pi. By that consideration, I can write del squared psi plus 2m by h cross square e minus capital V psi equal to 0. See, this is equation number 8. Are you clear, students? Are you able to follow my steps? Okay, good. Next, let me go to the next step. So the equation I have obtained, del square psi plus 2m by h cross square e minus capital V psi equal to 0. This is the equation called Schrodinger time independent wave equation. This is nothing but Schrodinger time independent wave equation. Time independent wave equation. This is called Schrodinger time independent wave equation. Why I'm calling this as a Schrodinger time independent wave equation? Because this equation not having any component of time. It is represented without mentioning the time. Then this equation is termed as Schrodinger time independent wave equation. In this equation, we have the component of mass, which is the characteristics of a particle. So this equation explains the wave-like behavior of a particle. Here, as a special case, if I take, if a free particle is considered, if a free particle is considered. What is meant by free particle? Free particle is a one which is having no restrictions. Here the potential energy capital V considered to be the restriction parameter. If there is no restriction for a particle to move, then I can write capital V equal to 0 for the free particle. Then I can remodify this equation as del squared psi plus 2m by h cross square E psi equal to 0. So this is also the Schrodinger wave equation in terms of, this is Schrodinger wave equation or Schrodinger time independent wave equation for a free particle. This wave equation can be represented in any form, like one dimension, 2 dimension, or 3 dimension, and this is a general notation. If I want to represent that equation in 1 dimension, I can write like dou squared psi by dou x square plus 2m by h cross square e minus capital V psi equal to 0. This is a one-dimensional representation. If you want to represent by 2 dimension, you will have one more parameter of dou squared psi by dou y squared, and you can represent like this. This also considered to be a 3-dimensional parameter. So this is the most general Schrodinger wave equation of time independent form. So from this equation, you have to understand the Schrodinger time independent wave equation is given by del squared psi plus 2m by h cross square e minus capital V into psi equal to 0. This is the required equation you have to put in your mind. See, this is most important equation. So you may have questions in the examination based on this equation. Here E is the total energy, and capital V is the potential energy, and H cross is a constant. That's all. Here del is a Laplacian operator. Del squared is given by dou squared by dou x squared plus dou squared by dou y squared plus dou squared by dou z squared. So this is called Schrodinger time independent wave equation. I hope you are all understood the formulation we have derived. If there is no doubts, we will pass on to the next equation called Schrodinger time dependent form. What is time dependent form? Let me start from the Schrodinger time independent equation. Del square psi plus 2m by h cross square E minus V psi equal to 0. See, this is equation number 1. We know the solution of the classical wave equation, psi equal to psi naught e power minus I omega t. If I differentiate this equation one time, what I will get? If I differentiate the equation 2, what will get? What I will get? Differentiate equation 2 with respect to t. I will get dou psi by dou t equal to psi naught minus I omega e power minus I omega t, just similar to that step we have done in the previous equation. Here, let me say psi naught e power minus I omega t is equal to psi. My equation becomes dou psi by dou t equal to minus I omega psi. Is that clear? Psi naught e power minus I omega t is equal to psi. So just I am substituting it. Let me multiply on both sides with I. Then I'll get I dou psi by dou t, that is equal to minus I into I square. I square is equal to minus 1. Then this becomes plus omega psi. This becomes plus omega psi. We know omega equal to 2 pi nu. We have an equation E equal to h nu. Then I can write nu equal to E by h. E by h. Then I can substitute for omega as 2 pi E by h. E by h. So I can write this expression I dou psi by dou t equal to, instead of omega I am substituting as 2 pi E by h psi. 2 pi h psi. We have also taken the consideration from our previous derivation that h cross is equal to h pi 2 pi. So this is becomes I dou psi by dou t equal to 1 by h cross E psi. Let me take the h cross to other side. Then this equation becomes I h cross dou psi by dou t equal to E psi. See, if I compare the left hand side and right hand side, I may taken that this E equal to I h cross dou by dou t. This is called energy operator. Energy operator. This energy operator operating on the wave function psi that gives the energy value. This energy operator which is operating on psi, it will gives you the energy value, that is called eigenvalue. Let us say this is equation number 2. Now substitute equation number 2 in equation number 1. Let me take this. The equation number 1 I can write del squared psi plus 2m by h cross square E minus capital V psi equal to 0. This is called Schrodinger time independent form. Now let me multiply psi inside. This is becomes del squared psi plus 2m by h cross square E minus V, sorry, E psi. This is becomes E psi plus, sorry, V psi minus capital V psi, that is equal to 0. Just we have arrived IH cross dou psi by dou t, that is equal to E psi. So substitute that in the equation. We will get del squared psi plus 2m by h cross square into IH cross dou psi by dou t minus V psi. Let me rearrange this expression like this. Del squared psi equal to minus 2m by h cross square IH cross dou psi by dou t minus capital V psi. V psi. So you will agree with me for this rearrangement. Let me do the rearrangement again like this. Del squared psi plus, or del squared psi minus h cross squared by 2m, that is equal to IH cross dou psi by dou t minus capital V psi. Let me do some more operation like this. Minus h cross squared by minus h cross squared by 2m into del squared psi. The parameter in the left side minus V psi can come to the right side, like capital V psi equal to IH cross dou psi by dou t. So we have almost done, and this is called Schrodinger time dependent wave equation. You can able to see there is a component of time here, t. So this is called Schrodinger time dependent wave equation. Dependent wave equation. So in this equation, I can do much another rearrangement or simplification. Let me take psi common from the left side, and this is becomes, I can write like this, minus h squared squared by 2m del square plus capital V into psi, that is equal to I h cross dou by dou t psi. I just told you I h cross, let us say I h cross dou by dou t is called energy operator, and let me introduce one more operator called Hamiltonian operator, which is given by minus h cross squared by 2m del square plus capital V. It is equal to say h. This h is nothing but Hamiltonian operator, which is very famous operator in classical physics. And this gives you the energy operator. This is energy operator. What is mean by operator? A function which do some mathematical workouts like positive, plus. What is operation of plus? This plus will add the number in the left side and right side. Then this plus is nothing but the operator. Like that, this is a energy operator. When this energy operator is acting on a wave function, this will gives you the energy value. Is it clear? So by this consideration, left hand side I can write E psi. Left hand side I have minus h cross squared by 2m into del square plus capital V equal to h. Then this is becomes h psi. So this is a simple notation of Schrodinger time dependent form. Schrodinger time dependent form. So these are all the fundamental formulations which is derived by Schrodinger in order to fulfill the requirement of quantum physics, and this is the most fundamental equation. This is very much useful for explaining the behavior of electrons, to calculate their energies in the orbitals and their positions, and some quantum mechanical phenomena are easily explained by using this Schrodinger wave equation. So that's why it is considered to be more fundamental equation in quantum mechanics. So these two equations you have to remember. These two equations you have to remember. What are the two equations? Number one, Schrodinger time independent equation. Time independent equation is given by del square psi plus 2m by h cross square E minus V psi equal to 0. Second equation is Schrodinger time dependent equation. What is that? Minus h cross squared by 2m del squared psi plus V psi equal to IH cross dou psi by dou t, or simplified way H psi is equal to E psi. These are the two Schrodinger wave equations. One is time dependent form, another one is Schrodinger time independent form. These two are considered to be most important and fundamental formulation of quantum physics. Okay, I hope you have understood the steps. Please practice these parts in your home, then you will be able to have the better understanding how this Schrodinger time independent and time dependent equations are arrived by incorporating the classical wave equation and de Broglie wavelength, which can explain the behavior of matter waves. So thanks for watching. I hope you will practice it in the home.